Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Cassandra Love here with us, and yeah, she's actually amazing. She just published the book, and the book is there. She's gonna talk about this into the light, and it's been there, with all these Emmy nominated writers and stuff, and then also she's a healer. She's using EFT in number of different great ways. And yeah, I think Cassandra, the best way is basically to introduce yourself. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Cassandra Love Lambert, and some people call me C Love because that's my artist name. Uh, I actually am a best-selling author, a somatic transformation coach, and an artist at heart always. And it's really my journey. I started off, with overcoming a lot of childhood trauma and sexual abuse, which is what my book is about. So if you know someone, which because it's pretty common, actually, the statistics is 1 in 4 children who has gone through some kind of sexual violation or abuse, this is a great book for them, so that they feel really validated in their healing journey. And it comes with a workbook to help you work through your own struggles that might come up as you read mine. So it's Into the Light, Becoming My Own Hero. And really becoming an artist for 10 years, doing makeup, helping women feel beautiful, doing all the like Burning Man events and festivals and things. Was really healing for my inner child. And then the pandemic came, so I had pivoted into doing somatic work. And one of the first modalities was evidence-based EFT tapping, because it was the first time I had tried something for healing, right? I had tried talk therapy. I had tried, the more woo-woo things like Reiki and crystals and shaman circles with medicine, and none of those things seemed to get to the roots of what I was experiencing. And I kept repeating patterns like abusive relationships. But when I got to EFT tapping, I actually experienced my life transforming and staying, which is huge, right? Because you start to think something's wrong with you. It's like I'm doing all these things, I'm paying all this money, but nothing's changing. And that could really be a very defeating place to be. So when I experienced the change lasting, I was like, oh, I have to get, certified in this, because it's like when you try for so long, like over a decade, 2 decades even, and you finally run into solutions, it's like this conviction to pay it forward and help others who are also feeling stuck. So that's what brought me here. I have my pain into power process, and I really help people regulate their nervous systems, transform any unresolved trauma that might be impacting them at a subconscious level. And it might show up as patterns, in relationship or in work or business. And then I like to, after we do the heavy lifting, I like to move into creation. And I know you brought up manifestation a little bit ago, so we could totally talk on that. I call it creation, because we're creators, and just
Mm.
some people have forgotten that they have the power to be a powerful creator, because we're always creating. We're creating with our words. We're creating with our actions and our choices, moment by moment, every day.
Totally, yeah. And something, I mean, you touched on a number of different, very interesting sort of subjects there. One of the things that I want to ask you, and we can go a little bit deeper into this, like you mentioned, ETF was really like a breakthrough for you, yeah, in terms of
Yeah.
healing and stuff. I mean, there is so many good and valuable healing techniques, and some of those you mentioned as well, and you tried them, and obviously I'm sure you got some results, with these other techniques, because I tried most of those myself as well, and some of those I'm actually using to help my clients, and I think it's definitely important to find something that works for you long term. Now,
Mhm.
when it comes to ETF, is it something that you have to like do every day, or it's just like you do it like for a bit and then it lasts? Well, can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, so EFT, it
Sorry,
can,
EFT.
yeah, it can be used both ways. Like it can be used as a day-to-day like hygiene just to help regulate your nervous system. The thing about the nervous system is we all have one, and it impacts everything.
Yes.
So if you have a dysregulated nervous system, and it gets too dysregulated, what happens is it impacts your ability to think or make conscious choices. And so you're actually operating day to day in survival. And therefore, if you're operating day to day in survival, you're actually in reaction
Hmm.
24/7. And the choices you'll be making are different than the choices you would be making if you were in your thinking, rational, cognitive brain. So, one of the first steps, some people don't even know that they are operating in survival, but one of the like key things you'll notice is like you're a high functioning, high anxiety person. And this society kind of make like celebrates that a little bit, like, oh, busy, 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 work, 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 right?
Grind,
But
grind, grind. Yeah.
I know, yeah, yeah, but that's not actually healthy, especially for the nervous system. And so, one of the first keys with the work with like EFT is to really regulate the nervous system. And so it does at first take you using it day to day, to like remind your body you're even allowed to feel relaxed and to help cut off the signal to the amygdala, which is in overdrive. But the more that you do it, and if you're working with a practitioner, especially, uh, the magic really comes in if you go into like traumatic experiences or events that still have like energy around them. Like if you think of a memory that was really upsetting, I'll say it in a very simple way so people who don't understand can understand. If something happened between you and a friend or you and a family member in the past, it could even be a week ago or it could be 10 years ago. And when you think of that memory, your body still lights up with activations, like maybe your chest still hurts, maybe your tummy's in knots. What that means is that a part of you is still living in that memory. And so with EFT and working with a practitioner, you can fully process that memory to release that from your body so that that's not impacting you in the present, right? Most people aren't even in the present moment because they're operating from so many things that have happened in the past. So they're not even able to be super present right now. And one of the pieces of the work is to go back and process those things so you can be more present. And as you do that, you wouldn't need EFT every day, right? Because you're actually processing the things that are keeping you stuck.
Okay. And so you're using EFT to actually go back and clear things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about the present moment? What happens then?
When you're processing the past,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
your perceptions become more clear.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, and then what are the typical results people you're working with? What are they getting as a result of this?
Yeah, so I worked with a lot of people who have gotten off of drinking alcohol. So they've gotten sober, even they've gotten off of microdosing and things of that nature. I've also worked with people who didn't need meds anymore for like anxiety or these other things because of doing the somatic work. Um, so that's one thing that has happened. And then other things is they become more regulated in their life, so they're not in constant crisis.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've met people who just seemed like they're in constant crisis and like things just always seem to be going wrong and they're always spiraling.
Hmm.
But working with me, they became more grounded. Their life became more calm.
Hmm.
And also as like the heavy lifting, like processing of the past happens, they're able to move into creation. So then what comes forward is like purpose, and like a lot of times they'll birth like passion projects or businesses from that space of purpose.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So that's happening now. We also touch base when we were in the green room. We touch base a little bit about manifestation and stuff. Now you have your own sort of vision about manifestation, and you're calling it. I think you're calling it creation. And yeah, can you tell us, because I see a number of people now on YouTube and stuff. They're like saying, "Oh, you use this to actually." Manifest and things like that. So, is this actually working with EFT or not?
So, yeah, so I like to call it creation, right? Because it's also like what's in alignment for you and what's not in alignment for you. Like sometimes I think people get a little arrogant and they treat life like it's Burger King.
Hmm.
But what if, and they're missing the whole component of their spirit? Like, what if that thing that you're thinking that you want isn't actually in the divine plan for you? Isn't what the higher power wants for you? And what if the higher power wants something even better for you, but you're super attached to this thing you think you want, right? So you have to you have to take into account that we are spirits having a human experience, and like also kind of tune in like, where am I wanting this from? Am I wanting this from desire and a lower chakra, or is this actually coming through as this is an aligned
How can you find out? How can you actually discover is it lower chakra or no?
Oh, you can tell, especially if it's lower chakra, you know. Yeah. So like sometimes the way they approach the whole manifesting thing is coming from a place of treating life like Burger King, right? Have it your way, and I don't see it that way, right?
Cool.
One of the things in EFT especially is one of the reasons like something you cannot like if you feel blocked with a goal, let's say you're wanting to lose weight, or let's say you're wanting to make a certain amount of money. I will use those because those are easier, tangible goals, right? And you keep trying, like you're efforting, you're doing all the things that everybody else is doing, but it kind of feels like you're on a hamster wheel, like not going anywhere, right? And the reason for that it can be a couple reasons, right? Like one, it could be you have conflicting beliefs in your body that so you're not congruent with that goal.
Hmm.
There's parts of you not on board with this goal, right? So
Hmm.
part of the work is actually working on clearing those, right? We call those tail enders in EFT, right? It's like when I say this thing that I want, it's like all these rebuttals that come up, like, oh, you can't have that, or you're not good enough, or that's not possible for you, or, all these little things that our mind and body will tell us.
Or it didn't work until now. It's not gonna work
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All
Yeah.
those are what we call rebuttals, right? Like in tail
Mhm.
enders. And also core beliefs. Like if you have a core belief getting in the way of, having that thing, you have to work through the layers of that as well. Another thing that could be getting in the way of a goal is, like I said, memories. So
Mhm.
certain memories, because those are reinforcing the beliefs, right? And so some things that we create are easier than others because we don't have as much baggage in the way.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, and so if someone wants to actually start with this, or if they want to actually connect to you, or find out a little bit more about you about this, like how they can do that.
Yeah, you can go to I can't even talk. Cassandra with a Cassandra Love Lambert Lambert.com. And you can go there or my Instagram at C_love_Lambert. And you can just reach out to me for sure. But yeah, I have a pain into power process that I walk people through, and it really supports them in getting to that space of like creation, um, and regulating the nervous system too. Because sometimes we also cannot have a goal because our nervous system doesn't feel safe having that goal.
Hmm.
So you have to work on being able to contain whatever that is.
Yeah.
And you see this actually with people who win the lottery. They've done a lot of studies on this, right? So they get plucked out of whatever life they're in now, right? Which is not having that kind of money, and they get put into a life with having that kind of money. And a lot of times they end up back where they were or worse within so many years
Yeah,
because they didn't have the nervous system capacity to hold whatever that creation was.
yeah. I
Had
mean,
the
look,
mindset, the nervous system, right? Like they freaked out and they couldn't
yeah,
get rid of the money fast enough, so they spent it on stuff.
totally. And people talk about like lottery winners, and there is only few of those. But this, I see this happen with people like when they inherit something, when they,
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, yeah. When they
yeah, yeah,
inherit
yeah,
something, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
literally,
same
like
thing. It's
it's
because they're not, this is why too, a lot of times like people like don't understand how much work went into becoming the success. They didn't see all the grueling hours that somebody spent. They'll just see the success, but they didn't realize what it took for someone to get there. Because it's like this alchemical process that's happening as you're moving towards your goals, that you're changing internally your mindset and your nervous system to even be able to have whatever that is, right? Same with love, right? Relationships. Some people will sabotage when they get into a healthy relationship, right? Because they're not used to having healthy love. So they'll sabotage it and end up back into something that's not so great, right?
yeah, that's bad. Okay.
Human behavior, baby. Human behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, excellent. I mean, Cassandra, that was so nice having you on as a guest. Like literally one of the best backgrounds we've seen, in like 200 plus episodes. And on top of that,
I
such
did it.
an
Oh.
interesting story. And the wings, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
They do the job. So, yeah, that was Cassandra all the way from San Francisco. And if you like this episode, drop us a like, subscribe, and also, you know, if you have any questions for Cassandra or me, you can drop them down in the comments. We'll be more than happy to actually answer them. And yeah, Cassandra, thanks a lot for being a guest. See you all in the next episode. All the best and bye bye.